every time I come in here, I have to change my internet to Buffalo. It should be Buffalo in my office, unless it drops it, but just by moving
Yeah.
in here.
Different access. Mine does the same thing. I go from here to that. The Dell's holding up to that access,
I don't have Buffalo doesn't show up as an available network for me. Is it something you have to?
On your.
I don't. Well, yeah. You know what? I haven't tried it before. That's the other one that I'm thinking about. So, because I always plug it in, this one in.
Remember, yes. Thank you. Yes, that would be nice.
Are you? It's safe. You do it.
Somebody presented something this morning. Morning, Jessica. Morning, how you doing? Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's good. All right. Works. We put it on, we did. Okay. You come in?
Yeah.
If anybody has public comments to make, I'll need you to fill out a form right here. I've got 3 so far. And I would request that everyone silence their cell phones if they haven't already. That is here.
Yes, we. I talked to him this morning.
All right, I will call the regular session of the Zandt County Commissioners Court to order at 9:03. We will start with the invocation led by David Barber. Please rise.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day today and our many blessings. Father, I just thank you for the opportunity to be here this morning and be a part of this meeting. Thank you for those in attendance, the families that are represented here today. Father, as we approach this Thanksgiving Day holiday, we do have so much to be thankful for, and we are really thankful that you are in charge and in control of everything that's going on around us. Father, thank you for the opportunity that we will have to visit with family and friends over the coming days. And I ask that you watch over everyone as they travel to and from their destinations during this holiday weekend. Father, be with us now as we carry on with our responsibilities each and every day. And I ask that you forgive us of our sins, and all this we pray in your name. Amen.
Amen. All right, pledge the American flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Texas flag. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Thank you. All right, we do have a quorum present. All the commissioners are here. Do we have any general announcements? That would be you, Jessica. We got recognition of service.
Yes, we do have recognition of your service for our good employees. And I'm gonna let Mr. Pearson recognize these two employees.
I've got a couple of gentlemen that, went to work with Van Zandt County here a few years back. One of them, Steve Stringer, he went to work for Van Zandt County Sheriff's Office 10 years ago. Worked for them for 8 years. And then, 2 years ago, I called him and asked him if he'd be interested in working for Precinct 3. He's a big, asset to, Precinct 3. He helps on the road and bridge duty, plus he helps oversee, our trustees at the sheriff's office, gives us, help prepare roads. Keith, I'd like to give you a 10-year service award. If you step up here, buddy. Up here?
Yeah, here they are.
Thank you.
Here's the other one, but I'll come down to that.
Okay. These are my glasses. Thank you, Keith, for 10 years of service, Van Zandt County.
David, wait a minute, let them go, they better look.
That's fine. That's fine.
Then we know where they're at.
Okay, right here. Here again. One more. Thank you.
But look at the background we got.
No, I ducked down.
Thank you, Keith.
Thank you.
The next one, Andy and I joint, here on this, Chris Burnett, 5 years ago, over 5 years ago now, I was out here at the feed store out here at the East Texas Co-op, picking up some stuff, and Chris was up on the dock. And Chris been a lifetime in the telecommunications business, and he had retired, and he was out there Golden Street back. And Chris and I got the bid. I said, "Want to come to work for the county? I need some part-time help there." And he studied about it, talked to his wife. He came on the Precinct 3 part-time, ran boom mag for me, and some other stuff. He did an excellent job. And he moved, he did such a good job, he moved from part-time to full-time. So he worked there with me, and then when our building maintenance supervisor came over, Chris applied for that job, and he was awarded that job to come over here. So it's been over here now for 8 months, something like that. So a total of 5 years. So Chris, come on up here, and I'd like to congratulate you, and tell you thank you for what you did for us.
You want to make something, the guy was first thing going.
I just want to say, he's been a guy that's been amazing on maintenance for this facility. Thank you so much, Gary.
But one other thing, a lot of y'all might.
Oh.
Chris is the finest fighter and his brother.
Yeah. Oh, well, again.
Thank you, Chris.
All right, do we have any more announcements?
Judge,
Yes.
so we finally got the runoff date for the elections. So, it'll be Tuesday, let's see here.
30th.
Yeah, let's see. So it's gonna be Tuesday, January 30th will be election day. We're gonna do early voting for 1 week. It will start on January 22nd, run through Friday, the 26th. And, so we'll be ready to go.
Very good. Okay, any other announcements? All right, we have public comments. And any more? Do you have any more, Susan? I have 3 here.
No, I don't have any.
Okay, we have We have three. You have 5 minutes, and we'll start with Faith Colleran, who would like to speak on item number 12.
Good morning. Thank you for the opportunity to speak with y'all. Item number 12 has to do with the appointment of appraisal district representatives from the county. It's 27 entities are allowed, are taxing entities that go through the appraisal district, 21 or 27 that go through there. And I'm not sure how you guys are allocated votes. How it's determined. I believe the school districts get a heavier weighted vote. So predominantly those appraisal board members end up being school board representatives. I believe the article that comes out in the paper that's out today, that I actually got a PDF file before, because I'm on their subscription. So I read it in advance that y'all had discussed this in special session on the 17th. And Keith and Virgil, I appreciate you guys having that table and move to a regular meeting. So it could be discussed. My issue is that who are the 8 candidates? There's 5 board members. 1 board member is open position because he's retired at Bailey. So there's new people going to come on the board. Who are those candidates? Y'all are going to throw out votes. And it was recommended or suggested that you evenly distribute those votes. And that's not a voice. We need a candidate, strong candidate that would represent the county and we the people, us. And I can't make a recommendation of any appraiser that we the people, we might be interested in that represent us, but actually represent the taxing entity, which is you, commissioner for the county. Instead of just some school board rep. But we don't know who the 8 candidates are. So I can't even make a suggestion asking you to maybe put somebody that would represent us on that board other than the school district. But predominantly those representatives are in the school boards. So I appreciate it getting put back into special session, but there's decisions that you guys are making that we don't know and have any input in because we don't know who you're even considering for approval. But spreading out the votes won't bring in a candidate that we need to represent the county. And so, yeah, I know you guys have to move forward. I think it has to be in by December 15th. But we really can't give recommendations on which way we want you to go. But it needs to be somebody representing the county, not just the school districts. Thank you.
Okay. Next we have Ann Nelson to speak on item number 12 again, same thing.
Morning, everybody. I'm Ann Nelson with the Van Zandt County Democratic Party. I live in precinct 2. I'm speaking on agenda item 12 regarding the allocation of votes for board members for the Van Zandt Appraisal District. Like many in the county, we're concerned about high appraisal values on land and property, which through a complicated formula equates to increased property taxes and higher insurance premiums. We fear a future where long-term, multi-generational residents will no longer be able to afford the taxes and insurance on the property. Those families owning farm and ranch land will be particularly hard hit if their agricultural exemptions are denied. While the board members of the Van Zandt Appraisal District do not directly set appraisal values or determine agricultural exemptions, they are able to influence the process. The board hires the chief appraiser, who determines the appraised values. The chief appraiser, with the advice and consent of the appraisal board, appoints the agricultural advisory board. The agricultural advisory board advises the chief appraiser on value and classification of agricultural land. The agricultural advisory board also generates the 1D1 agriculture, timber, and wildlife management open space guidelines and intensity standards for Van Zandt County, the rules for granting agricultural exemptions. In addition to selecting the chief appraiser, the appraisal board appoints the appraisal review board, and the appraisal review board hears and resolves appraisal disputes. The Van Zandt County Democrats support keeping our county rural and working for economic development that supports farms, ranches, and small businesses. Most of us came here from Richardson, Plano, Garland, where we watched open area turned into subdivisions, ranchers and farmers taxed or pressured off their land. We saw large chain stores push out the small businesses, traffic congestion, followed by never-ending road construction, constant traffic noise, more taxes, more people, more crime, more law enforcement, more water and electricity demands, higher utility bills, more schools, more taxes, more infrastructure, more government employees, more debt, more taxes. None of us need a crystal ball to see that in our future in Van Zandt County. All we need to do is follow Highway 80 through Kaufman County, add a side trip to Forney or Terrell, drive through Crandall or Kaufman. As Democrats, we support funding public schools and teachers. We support small government, using tax dollars wisely and frugally. We understand that schools and government need tax money to provide us with services. We support some growth, some new revenues, but we would like to see that balance with preserving the farm and ranch communities, growing the rural economy, and keeping housing affordable. When allocating and casting your votes for the board, we ask that you consider selecting candidates who will be advocates for rural families and small businesses over candidates who have a vested interest in industries and entities benefiting from higher appraised values, more development, and increased taxes. We feel your candidate should support an appraisal district committed to working for the taxpayers and not against them. Thank you.
Thank you, Ann. Next, we have Brian Cole Young to speak on item 12. Same item.
Thank you. I'll keep this short as possible. I recognize, or some of y'all are not familiar with, but I'm a landowner here in Texas. My roots go back to the original Texas land grant in Woodfall, Mexico. I've lived here all my life, except when I was in the Army in Dallas Police Academy, where I was disabled a lot of duty. I'm never been a thinker with a conscience, but I've noticed on this last appraisal thing a lot different. Now I know people have their hands tied with the government way out of the county, but I have a couple of things I'd like to suggest. Just when you pick somebody, consider picking somebody with some tenure in Van Zandt County, not just a local person from San Francisco last week, because that really matters. And I moved from Dallas back to Kent because I like the agricultural life. That's I don't get much of my Dallas pension, so I have to do that. They've changed it where they go from 5 acres to 10 acres. Well, I make most of my money off goats and chickens, and that's on 2 acres here. I buy it whenever I can, because that's astronomical. But also have some transparency when you vote, who you vote for, have somebody with no conflict of interest, not a developer, something like that. And that's not affiliated with developments. And just a small footnote, Joe Carter's probably the best sheriff we've had since Clyde A. Senior, and wherever he wants, he'll use it good. We're lucky to have him. So that's all.
Thank you. Appreciate y'all expressing your views, and I'll address some of the comments in that line item when we talk about it. So item number 4, consent agenda. The consent agenda items are considered routine by Commissioners Court, will be enacted in one motion. There'll be no separate discussion on these items unless the county judge or commissioner requests that item be removed from the consent agenda. We have items A through G as consent agenda items. Is there any item that needs to be removed or discussed for discussion? If not, I will entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Motion. Second.
All right, motion is made by Commissioner Barton, seconded by Commissioner Melton. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Opposed, like sign. Motion passes. Item number 5, discuss, consider approval of a grant for the Van Zandt County Sheriff's Office to acquire crime scene equipment.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Morning.
I am indeed here to request your approval.
Would you introduce yourself?
I'm sorry, yes, sir. For the people who don't know.
And live streamers, yes.
Deputy Aaron McLeish, one of your deputies with the Sheriff's Office here in Van Zandt County. And I would like to request your approval for the Sheriff's Office to apply for a grant for us to purchase some crime scene and forensic equipment. Many of you know Charlie Hughes. He's the gentleman who's been helping us with these grants. And he and I have been working for several months so that he can identify this particular grant. And the one that he has identified that he would like to apply for is with the Office of the Governor, and it's managed by the East Texas Council of Governments. It is not a grant that requires any matching funds. The equipment that I would like to see us be able to purchase with this grant consists of 3 specific items. The first one is a set of crime scene barriers. When we conduct our crime scene investigations, one of the things that we have to take into consideration is the privacy and the respect of the victims. And if it's a death investigation, we have to take the consideration of the privacy and respect of their survivors and loved ones. Something that we should be able to protect against is the opportunity for other people to make these moments of tragedy in someone's life their focus of curiosity. Conversely, some of our scenes do involve situations and images that are very graphic that people don't want to see. We don't have any control over that when these crime scenes are in an open area, like a front yard or on the side of the road. And so that's where these crime scene barriers would come into play. These barriers are portable, they're easily assembled, and I would like to see us get 4 so that we can have some degree of either expansion or contraction, depending on what the scene is. So that's one of the items. The other item that I would like to see us get is a set of portable, rechargeable LED lights. Some of the crime scenes that I have been out on have been very dark, and it's been very difficult to find evidence or to capture digital images of the scene. These particular lights that we're looking at, we actually had an opportunity to test drive these lights. The property and evidence technician with the Wiley Police Department has been a very valuable resource to me. She's actually a good friend of mine now. And when she learned that we had the market for some of these crime scene lights, she actually loaned us one to test drive, if you will, for a little bit. This is a very versatile light. It comes on a 6-foot stand. It can also be taken off and attached with a magnetic base. And I would like to see us get a set of these lights as well so that we can have one with each of our investigators and not only apply these to crime scene scenarios, but in any event that we have a loss of electricity and we need some kind of lighting source. The third item that I would like to see us get, and this is really the big ticket item, this is a forensic drying cabinet. When we collect wet evidence, it has to be dried before we can store it, and particularly when that wet evidence is biologically wet evidence. But while it's drying, it still has to be preserved and protected. It can't be tampered with. You can't just throw it in a dryer and consider it to be dried. And these drying cabinets are a tool that many of the contemporary agencies use today for this very purpose. This drying cabinet that I'm looking at is a multi-filter drying cabinet designed to minimize any bioburden buildup. One of the filters is actually designed to be a trace filter that'll capture any potential evidence that may become airborne during the drying process. And the chamber itself in this unit is a keyed chamber, and that'll help to prevent anybody tampering with the evidence or any contamination of the evidence while it's in the middle of this drying process. In addition to the unit, I've also asked for a number of additional filters and UV bulbs so that we can have the supplies on hand to properly maintain this unit for at least 2 to 3 years. The representative of the company who's marketing this particular unit says that buying filters to last longer than 2 to 3 years could exceed their own shelf life. So that's why I chose filters for 2 to 3 years. So those are the items that I would like to see us get. I think I've submitted some basic information to you gentlemen prior, but if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Are you gonna stay with this project even if you were to change positions?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I've spoken with Charlie Hughes on that, and that is my intent to see this particular project through to the end.
Judge, I'll make a motion, we authorize the resolution, or approve a resolution authorizing, the sheriff's office to apply for this grant and authorize the county judge to sign the resolution.
Second. All right, motion been made and second to approve a resolution to, apply for this grant. All right, is there any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, like sign. Motion passes. Hold on a second.
Thank you, gentlemen.
You bet. Item number 6, discuss and consider the appointment of William Adams to the Van Zandt County ESD number 1.
Yes, commissioners, judge, this is my agenda. Mr. Harpose, Merritt Harpose has resigned from the board, ESD 1 board, and Mr. Scott Adams, Mr. Scott Adams has put an application in to fill that position, and Mr. Adams has about 26 years of experience working for volunteer fire departments. He's familiar with the system. He's retired from Maybank Independent School District, and I make a motion that we appoint him to replace Mr. Adams on the board of ESD.
All right, motion is made. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, motion made and second. Is there any further discussion? Not all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion passes. Item number 7, discuss, consider findings of the Benville Fire Department financial overview.
Yes, this is mine. The Benwood Fire Department contacted me a couple weeks ago, and they have their overview complete with all that went on. And as you know, they're not getting fundings from us until they have this overview approved and things are in the right path. And I think Quinn, are you gonna, there's representatives of the fire department, y'all can kind of go over the report and verify, I guess.
We had, all of the books looked over, from Baker Tilly. They, itemized all of our stuff. We moved from picking the QuickBooks, and everything was notated in there as far as the things that we were questioning from before. All of our finances are in order and have been for the last year. I sent paperwork in, with all of that documentation to kind of show everything about what exactly is it that y'all are wanting to know from us.
Well, the court asked to see the report from the CPA for them to build that report over here, and y'all send it to us and us be.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
And that's what we sent in the other way. Did y'all get a copy of that?
No, I've not seen it.
The email that you sent me, Shauna?
Yes, sir. It was, I had provided one for 2022, one for 2023, and then I did one for October, November, and December of last year, just to kind of show the differences between the 3 months.
Well, what we were asking for before, some of the, Brandon and Judge were not here, but we were asking for an outside audit to look at it. And typically when that happens, they send whatever the name of that firm is, they say, we're so-and-so, independent auditors, and we have audited Benwood Fire Department, and we find them in good standings. We find no how's it read, Sandy? We find nothing, out of the ordinary on anything, everything appears to be in good shape to their finding. That's what we're after. And that's what we hadn't gotten yet.
Most of the people that we talked to do a quote professional audit were wanting anywhere between $15,000 and $18,000, which exceeded our yearly budget anyway. I own a small repair facility outside of Winter, and a lot of my personal money goes to finances department, has for the last 7 years. No, I mean, if you would like a professional audit, that would be fine, but then we're talking about the immense, basically bankruptcy of a year. Our yearly funds to pay for these. Now, we have incorporated a new board, which involves one of every business member in Ben Wheeler to basically handle the financial aspects of the Ben Wheeler Fire Department. So it's no longer in the hands of the individual fire members, I guess you would say. We have our own separate board. Most of the records that pertain to what y'all are wanting were destroyed before we took office. We really don't have a whole lot to go on for what y'all are wanting. Y'all are wanting to know the history and what happened and where the finances went. There's nothing to go on. It was all shredded. So, other than bankruptcies that we have, the checks that they run through the bank.
And what opened our initial investigation at the department was not missing money, it was missing appropriated money. Prior command staff taking money and spending it and paying it up. Members to work on drugs against our bylaws. For any members who receive a salary of any sort. That's what flagged our investigation. We know where the money went. It was being misappropriated, and we were trying to stop that. That's when everything was left.
The CPA we do have communication back and forth. If you want, I can get her to type up a letter. Basically what we had been doing is she was going through and putting our books in order. She would ask me questions about money that was moved around, and I would explain to her that I don't really know because we don't have any of those records. From digital to paper, it was all erased before we got back into the fire department. That was basically where we were, and she notated it in the journal that, $25,000 is moved from this bank account to this one. Did we know why? No, I can only assume it was because they lost control over one thing or the other. But at the end of the day, the money's there. We know why the investigation was open. We just never got to even go that far with an investigation that taught police because it got shut down. We turned into a disaster. But the intent was for the board to retain control over the financial situation of this government, which they should have had control over in the beginning anyways. But I can get Lisa to type up any kind of letter that you want. I don't know. She's just a CPA. It's not an actual audit. It was just a book.
And we knew,
reconciliation.
we talked about the audit when, I believe it's Chuck that was here. We knew we couldn't afford an audit. And I think we all agreed that, hey, they can't afford an audit, so let's get an overview. So we knew it wasn't gonna be an actual audit.
Yes, sir.
Because
That's what we did. The finance, what we sent you.
CPA should have still reviewed the books, put something together and sent back to y'all. That's what the court wants to see.
Yes, sir. I believe that's what
And we agreed to allow you to use the CPA, so it'd be cheaper than an auditor, but we expect on the basis to do the same function nonetheless, to produce a report that gives all these details. You just said, I printed this off for y'all and sent over. That's you printed off. We need it from the CPA. We need what the CPA saying, what she put together. That's what we want to see.
The fire department got a whole new board now.
Yes, sir. And it involves all of the major businesses up in Wheeler. It's not even controlled in-house anymore. It's all outside. So there is no possible way of internal corruption whatsoever. It all,
Nobody that's on the board now was on it when all this stuff came up.
absolutely been started from scratch. And
When did the new board take up?
we put this board together shortly after the disintegration of the last controlling entity that was there. I believe it was quite a public fiasco, but we determined that our best move would be to get business people that have successful businesses to control that. That way it would eliminate any internal corruption of any kind.
But I think the Benwood Fire Department's done above and beyond with replacing all the board members when all this stuff came up. And Judge, I'd be willing to make a motion that we start the payments back up when the new board came on board. And then if they ever get us the documents that we're asking about on the old stuff, we could go back and make a back payment. But let's start, there's no need in punishing Benwood Fire Department because they've done everything they can do to get a new board on there and show, we don't scrutinize the boards of these other volunteer fire departments and the ones that were accused of all this stuff are now gone. So I'll make a motion that we start our payment back to when the new board took over Benwood Fire Department.
We don't have a budget for that.
Do what?
We don't have a budget for that.
Well, we'll have to find it because we made a promise to them that when they gave us this Commissioner's Court said, when y'all give us this documentation, we will not only start your payment back up, but we will go back to where if you prove everything's on up and up, we'll start back where we stopped. And so it's this Commissioner's Court obligation because we gave a commitment to that fire department that we would do that. I mean, $600 a month, if we can't find that money, we're hurting.
Who put together this?
And we were supposed to have always budgeted for their payment. That payment should have never been out of budget for their payment.
But it's still in the 2023 budget, but it's closed. 24 budget has 12 months of time to be with the fire department.
Money going towards available, the back page was not available.
Know that we said that we'd back pay till that. I don't remember that, but
We did.
We
Yeah,
did.
we did.
Once we got an official order.
Yeah.
We haven't got it.
We never said audit.
So then I said, is it in there for this year, Sandy?
Is there 12 months of time?
Well, then
$600 a month, right?
I'll adjust that motion then that we start as of October the 1st. Starting their payments back up. And then if they get us the stuff that satisfies it, then we'll have to work on how we're gonna negotiate that money.
Who is your board members now?
Jeff Partney, Summer Gilchrist on her door control, Sharon Stitzel and Jared Holcomb, Cody Pollard. Sean. Yeah, St. Andre. She was once the controller had been with the development company. But there are board members.
I don't know that the CPA could give us any more information than what they've given us here. I mean,
Is all,
to me, this is, I mean, what's the CPA gonna do, right? Say, well, yeah, I confirm on what is presented to us today. I mean,
Well, I mean, the sad part about it would be the equivalent of you guys coming to work and explaining what y'all done for the last 5 years. If you had nothing to look back on. And it's basically what we're trying to do is find pieces of what happened with.
It's nothing to go on.
Yeah, there's nothing to go on.
Yeah, I think this report that we've got today would suffice myself.
I'll second Keith's motion.
What was that motion?
To start their payment back as of October the 1st of this year. Cause that's in the budget, correct?
So with what? We're gonna make them get another report then?
Well, we'll keep working on that part, it would be my thinking, but then we'll have to figure out how we're gonna make that back payment if we do. Like I said, it's just not budget.
When you say another report, I mean, are you just wanting the Baker Tilly to say, hey, Benwood Fire Department is in good financial standing, there's no, I mean, what do you want them to say?
Well, I agree. I don't see how you're gonna get anybody to audit
We're
something that's not there.
We're not, that's what I'm saying, this
Yeah.
report should suffice today.
It's a whole new group of people. I would say it's good.
Well, I'll make a motion that report's good. and-
We already have a motion. We have a
We
motion.
got to
second on the
amend the
floor.
motion if you're gonna do.
Well, I amend the motion that the report's fine and let's continue with the payments.
Well, we'll have to, we'll have to, we're gonna have to address how we're gonna make the back payments,
Address that.
so we can start
Okay.
the payment back up.
So we have an amendment on the floor to accept the current report. Is there a second?
No, my motion, Manny, was to start their payment as of October 1st this year.
That's correct.
That was the only motion I made. I have not.
That's
taken
correct.
my-
No,
I
Brandon.
amended its motion to accept the report.
Brandon added.
So all he can do is remove his second. He cannot amend my motion.
Okay.
We can vote on his, we can vote on Keith's. It said, who seconded it?
I second it.
Okay,
Yes.
we can vote on that and then,
And can I make a motion to approve the report?
well, no,
Why don't we wait until we get this motion that Keith has made? Or voted on, then we can.
But y'all know, y'all's banks lost all their records too.
That's
The
right.
bank came, the bank shredded their record. You can't go say we
Now,
have a copy.
We
of
do
it
have copies of the checks, the physical checks that went through the
in the
bank.
bank statement.
But any private donations, any cash that was handed over, anything like that is non-existent and no
Just
record
a
of it.
donation, just a deposit, you don't know where it came from.
We don't know where it came from. They didn't document nothing, or if they did, nobody knows where it's at.
To my understanding, the only thing that alerted the CBA when she was going through things is the town's money getting put back. That's what they were trying to do. The other board members out of it.
So, my suggestion is, because I've been informed and I haven't researched it, that we can only take one vote per agenda item. That's what I've been told. So I suggest we go ahead, we go through with Commissioner Pearson's a motion and approve it, and then move the accepting the report to another court meeting. Being as I haven't seen the report.
what
Okay.
report?
Not a report.
Well, that's just it.
This right here, you don't have a copy of this?
That's not the
I was
CPA.
informed,
This is-
no, I have not seen it. I was in the binder this morning at 8:30 or at 7:30. And it was not in there, so. It didn't come out until 8:30 and I didn't have time to review it, so. Before our meeting. So is that acceptable? Do we go ahead? With Keith's motion?
Start payments up.
Yes, and then we'll do another agenda item on the back payments and the report next commissioner court meeting.
I second it.
You got a motion, second, Judge, you got to
Yes,
call
I'm
for a
not.
vote.
All right. So all those in favor of resuming payments to the Benville Fire Department effective October 1st, say aye. All those opposed? Motion passed. All right,
Item number 8, discuss consider approval of the Jordan Edition plat on Van Zandt County Road 2403, located in precinct 2.
So this is an agenda item, the Jordan Platts, he has met all the requirements of our subdivision rules and regulations. It's been approved by our engineer. And so I make a motion that we accept this plat for filing conditions only.
All right, motion has been made.
Second, Pearson.
Plat, and second, is there any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye. Opposed, like sign. Motion passes. Item number 9, discuss, consider, approve the purchase of a vehicle 2016 Chevrolet 3500 Silverado, VIN number 1GB4CYCG3GF182272 for precinct 3.
Yes, gentlemen, and I'll take the visitors in the court down a little memory lane. Back in our budget time, I budgeted some money for equipment purchase in precinct 3 budget. I told the court at that time, I have no plans on buying any kind of vehicle. I hope I don't have to buy any vehicle or equipment. But unfortunately, I've had 2 trucks fail on me in the last month. And so this truck here that it will not affect my budget at all. I'm not asking for any budget amendment. It's all there. But I'm being transparent to let the court know and the citizens know that I'm buying, the precinct 3 is purchasing this truck and coming for approval to do so. If I'd known I was going to buy this truck at budget time, I'd have said, guys, I'm going to buy a new 4-door patch truck, but I wasn't planning on buying it. But I set some money there in case I need to. So I make a motion that the court allows me to purchase this, and then just for everybody to know, it's not a new vehicle. It will replace the one that's going to be on the next line item. So I make a motion that the court allows this purchase.
Second.
All right, motion been made. Second, is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Opposed, like sign. Motion passes. Item number 10, discuss, consider selling of a 2001 F450 4-door flatbed patch truck, VIN number 1FDXW46Z81EA90766, using Renee Bates Auctioneers.
Yes, sir. This is the truck that the previous truck is going to replace. It's a 2001 model. It's got over 210,000 miles on it, and it's got some issues that we'll be able to patch up enough that we can sell it on the Renee Bates Auctioneers through Renee Bates. And so I make a motion that we allow this to be placed on Renee Bates whenever I get it ready.
Second.
All right, motion been made and seconded. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Opposed, like sign. Item number 11, discuss, consider termination of license for Justice Solutions module for case management, jail management, and CAD for the county sheriff's office. The situation was we took on a new software in 2000, and Justice Solution did have these 3 modules that the jail was using. But we took on new Southern software in 2000 and implemented it in 2001. I believe it was 2001, right? 2021. 2021. It was implemented, but we didn't. We still had issues with the transfer of data from Justice Solutions into Southern software. So we maintained the licenses during the time that we were trying to get the data transferred over into Southern software, and that was completed effective September 30th. And so we would like to issue them, and Southern, or not, excuse me, LGS and the Southern Justice Solutions were notified that we were going to terminate that during this time, but we haven't actually officially requested a termination of the license, and that's what this is, to allow us to terminate it as of effective 9:30, if available. If not, then effective when we write the letter.
I'll make a motion to that effect.
Okay,
Second.
motion made by Commissioner LaPrade and seconded by Commissioner Melton. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Opposed, like sign. Motion passes. Item number 12, discuss consider allocation of votes for board members for the Van Zandt Appraisal District. Okay, and I just would like to, in your binders is the information that came from the appraisal district, and these were the people that were, there are 8 candidates for 5 positions. And the board member positions are 2-year positions. And the current board members are Clay Nicholas, Larry Shackelford, Kyle Thomas, and C.W. Wilson. And then Ed Bailey, who is the chairman, and Ed Bailey is not running again. So he's the one that is going to need, well, actually, we're voting for all 5. So this is how the votes are determined by the total dollar value allocations made by the appraisal district, and then divided up by the percentage. For example, the total of 2022 levy was $82,140,874. And then the Van Zandt County portion of that was $20,664,61. There was a total of 5,000 votes, and so you divide the $20,664,000 by the $82,140,000 and get that percentage, and that's 25%, which gives us 1,258 votes to place for these candidates. And it is not specified how you do it. You can do it all of them for one. You can divide it amongst various ones, however you want to do it. So that's what we are in the process of doing. It's a 2-year term for 24, calendar year 24 and 25 that we're voting on. So is there any questions about the process and what we are supposed to do? In your binder, I requested from the appraisal district to bios for all of the candidates that were running, and you have those bios in your binder. And I assume you've had time to review them. They were in the last binder too. So what is the pleasure of the court as far as how they would like to vote for these candidates? Again, we're voting for 5, or there's 5 positions in the board.
Well, I'll just take it, and traditionally in the past, Larry Shackelford has been more or less Van Zandt County's representative on that board. And every time that I've had anything to do with this in the past, we've always cast all of our votes towards Mr. Shackelford, so we would make sure that we kept him on there as the county's representative. And I don't know why we would all of a sudden want to alter and take a chance of possibly losing Mr. Shackelford as our representative. So my suggestion, or I'll even put it in a motion that we cast all of our votes towards Mr. Shackelford. If nobody seconds it, we'll know to move on.
I like more discussion if nobody seconds it.
All right. Let's continue on with discussions.
I would like to nominate David King. David King's, he's been in Van Zandt County for 40 or 50 years. He's the former president of the American National Bank out here. He's familiar with banking procedures. He's certainly familiar with appraisal district procedures and tax procedures. I'd like to see him get a big share of the vote from the court.
Okay. So that's two different candidates that have been mentioned. Is there any other candidate that any of the commissioners would like to add to the vote?
I guess my question is, are we all gonna support one, or are we gonna divide it up?
Well,
That's kind of where I'm at. If we're gonna support one, then we can go that way. If we're gonna divide it up, then I'm gonna go with the gentleman from my precinct, Mr. Thompson. But if we're gonna all go with one, then I'm leaning back, we're staying with Mr. Shackelford. I just been kind of waiting to see what the court's gonna do, if we're gonna keep it all united, or if we're gonna split it.
Well, then I'll just make a motion that we give all of our votes to David King. Let me get a second.
All right, motion dies for lack of a second. So, so I will make a motion when we divide our 12,058 votes between three candidates, and that would be David King, Larry Shackelford, and Kyle Thompson. Larry Shackelford and Kyle Thompson are current board members who have served for multiple terms.
I'll second that.
Okay. Motion's been made and second. Discussion.
Who seconded?
I did.
Any discussion?
Yeah, I'm afraid we're gonna knock some of our trusted members off. By doing that. But that's the decision for the court.
All right, any more discussion? All those in favor of dividing our 1,258 votes between David King, Larry Shackelford, and Kyle Thompson, say aye. All those opposed? Did you vote?
I'm thinking.
Thinking. I see smoke over there.
No.
Vote no? Okay, well, I vote for it, so it passes. Hold on.
Hold on, yeah.
All right, I made the motion, Virgil seconded it. And Commissioner Pearson and Commissioner Barton voted against.
Thank you. Hey, when were you in the police department? Oh, you can't hear. When were you in the police department?
I can't hear.
When were you, when were you in the police department?
95, I got hit by an 18.
Yeah. That's right. I remember that. Yeah. Well, glad you're okay now. Yeah. Yeah. How you been doing?
Hey there.
Gosh.
I've been meaning to call you. I got some backpacks and other stuff that Lori's bought for the ABC.
Thank you, Dave.
But I'm not, they're in my other car and I didn't drive to them, so. I'll, okay.
Glad you came today.
Let
See
me,
you
make
forever.
sure.
Yeah, yeah. Janice is back pretty much working full time as a substitute teacher over at the Med Bank. Yeah, she had.
I sent that email.
She does.
Yeah, we didn't say commissioner's court order, I thought it was everybody, but you're not on there.
Yeah, they took.
I sent it, I got it yesterday, I sent it yesterday.
Yeah, yeah,
No, I just sent it to you, yeah, I didn't know you were.
Good deal.
But you got it now.
All right, thank you. Is that your number? I found it, I got that off the board at Lakeside because I had a totally different number. All right. Good to see you. Oh, yeah.